and I think the people like me, who at this point when I used to have a bigger business, but now people like me who really work with subcontractors and people like that, we spend a lot of hours doing research, doing readings, doing developmental kinds of things that we don't really charge for because we like it and it's part of who we are. So that's why when someone says, "Oh, they make so much money doing, let's say, a speech, a 1 hour speech," well, there's probably 50 hours, 100 hours that goes into that, and
Oh,
people
at
don't
least.
look at that, and so. Yeah, there's a lot of things. I mean, I think we're discouraging a lot of people, Ruth, because, you know, if you really looked at everybody's net profit per hour, it's probably down to more like 10 cents than even 94 cents. So let me ask you, why is a balance sheet more important than the P and L, and what are the most common mistakes on a balance sheet?
Okay. Well, actually, a profit and loss statement is started when you started your business or when you bought your business, and it's a history. It's a continuum of what's gone on from a financial perspective in your business, and it will continually go on until you die, you sell your business, or you close your doors, or one of the three. And the balance sheet actually tells you true profitability, whether you're profitable or not on a long-term basis. Gail, I'm sure when you had your bigger businesses, there were years or months you were going, "Thank goodness that month is over," right?
Right.
And so that's what a P&L is all about. It's for a very defined period of time. It's a month usually or a year. And I know I've had years where I think, "Thank goodness this year is over. I get to start over again." And in the P&L, you start over again every month. You start out with zero revenue, zero expense on um, now June 1st at 12:01 a.m. It's like you're zeroed out, and you start for the entire month of June over again. Balance sheet, you're not that lucky. It kind of remembers everything. And the reason it talks about true profitability is when you look at your balance sheet, you look at it and you do some, I hate to say it, you have to use a calculator, but you just do one quick division. You divide current assets, which are things that are cash or turned into cash, divide that by current liabilities, which is things that you got to pay within a year. So, what's coming in within a year, what's going out within a year, you divide those two numbers. And if that trend is increasing, then you are profitable. You're profitably moving your company.
And
Most,
why do banks keep asking for P&Ls? Whenever you go in for a loan, they ask for P&Ls. They don't ask for a balance sheet.
yes, they do. The smart
Really?
ones do.
Okay. I've always been asked for a P&L, but that's interesting.
Yeah, because
Yeah, so there's a big difference there. I never
yeah,
really realized that. That's fabulous.
yeah, and if you know most small business owners, the first person they hire, even if it's a bookkeeping service or a CPA, is the first employee that they hire. They go, "Oh, good, I don't have to do the books anymore." And you can delegate the responsibility, but you can never abdicate the the actual financial understanding and learning it, because it's your name on the bottom line. It's your person who is actually signing a loan at the bank. It's you. So you can delegate day to day. And I don't even do that. I mean, I have people who do that for me. I don't, but I look at financial statements and I know enough to be able to question. You were smart in those nonprofits. You had your CPAs. Let them do the work. I know enough to be able to question. That's all you need to do. And it's really funny because once you do this and once you learn what the statements are all about, it's not really that hard. Think about it.
Yeah, I think you just have to become aware. I think
Yeah,
maybe there are people that you just need to say, you look at these five things, and if those five things add up, then you're okay. So
yeah,
probably, it's more like that. But you also say you should never allow your bookkeeper to sign checks. And yet there are big businesses that have comptrollers signing all kinds of checks. So tell us a little bit about that.
all right. The comptrollers have enough of a basically separation of duties so that you can do an audit very quickly. And most very large companies have audited financial statements. So that's a protection that small business owners generally don't have. But I'll do this as a story. I had a contractor that I worked with in Florida. hired a bookkeeper, really good bookkeeper, very accurate, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And one day she went through this nasty, nasty divorce. And the attorney told her, if I don't have a check for $3,000 by Friday, I'm dropping your case. So instead of thinking rationally, what did she do? She forged a check. She said, they'll never find it. These were the days we still got the checks back in the mail when we balanced the checkbooks. So I'll just pull the check. So unbeknownst to her, the owner of the company gets his banker, who's not this huge bank, or anything like that, calls him on the phone because he was looking at the account and said, I have this check for $3,000 from attorney X. And the guy goes, what? He goes, yeah, the signature looks a little funny. And so he comes running over to the bank, and sure enough, not his signature. So, the only person who could do it is the bookkeeper. So he comes back and confronts her, and da-da-da-da, tears, da-da-da-da-da. And he says to her, he says, why didn't you come to us? Because we loan money to our employees because we take it out of payroll deduction every week, which you do. So here is a woman who is a bookkeeper who is not thinking straight and ends up going to jail for forging checks. Had he given her check signing authority, it would have been a civil case, not a criminal case, and much harder to prove in court. So, if you give your bookkeeper, as a small business person, if you give your bookkeeper check signing authority, that bookkeeper has the authority to sign any check to anybody, anytime she wants. Her brother, her mother, whatever. And this is your money.
Wow.
So we don't.
Yeah, I can see. Well, I can see. Well, we only have about 3 or 4 minutes left, so I want to get to another important point, and then tell everybody how to reach you if they want to.
Okay.
And I would think after this they would want to. And that is, what's the best way to keep honest people honest so they don't steal from you?
Send your bank statements home.
Oh, wow.
Very simple, very easy. When you're done, when everybody is finished listening to this interview, if you haven't sent your bank statements home, you call your bank right then and there, say, send my bank statements home. Then you can take it into the bookkeeper to balance the book. But it also keeps your vendors honest. I had a guy who changed a check at a vendor it was a check for something for $45, and the vendor changed it to $545, and the bank cashed it at $545, and the owner was going through his checks and going, wait a minute, time out here. Went back to the bookkeeper, sure enough, pulled all the backup up. It was supposed to be $45, took it to the bank went after them. So it's not only your employees.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. Well, that's all good information, Ruth. So now, how can people get in touch with you?
Many different ways. They can go to www.profitabilityrevolution.com, which is our website for business owners, or they can send me an email to rking, R-K-I-N-G, at profitabilityrevolution.com. Or they can call us. I mean, I'm no problem with a quick phone call, and it's 770-729-8000.
Fantastic. Great. Well, now you've got 3 ways to get a hold of Ruth. And a Profitability Master is PROFITABILITYREVOLUTION.com.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I tell you, Ruth, this has been very educational for me. I'm sure it's been very educational for our listeners. I've had the pleasure of meeting Ruth in person. She's a wonderful, wonderful woman. If you have any doubt on how to run your business or what to do with the financial side of your business, she's a wonderful resource to know. So be sure to be in touch with her. Again, her website is profitabilityrevolution.com. She can be reached at 770-729-8000, and you can send her an email at rking@profitabilityrevolution.com. I want to thank everybody for listening to Women in Business, the show that brings you women entrepreneurs and senior managers. I hope you enjoyed our show today. Connect with me on Facebook and Twitter. Be sure to download my ebook, Life Lessons from an SOB, on my website, spunkyoldbroad.com, where you can find information on my speeches, coaching, and resources. Or you can email me at Gayle, Gayle Carson 13 @gmail.com. Thanks for listening.